Hey guys, I'm Lydia, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. In today's video, this is going to be the first of a segment. I'm going to be posting 1 or 2 healthy recipes every month. Subscribe so you don't miss out. In today's video, it's a coffee cake muffin recipe. If you don't like coffee, the great thing about this is it's very easily adaptable. All these ingredients you can easily sub out for personal preference. Now this recipe is great for gluten-free, dairy-free, and it's sugar-free. It's perfect for weight loss or even meal prep, quick pick-me-up snack on the go. You can make this recipe in an air fryer oven, or you can make it as a pancake in a pan. I'm gonna have the recipe in the description down below, so you can just go ahead and screenshot that, or you can follow along with the video. Also put them in the freezer or the fridge, and this portion makes 5 to 6 because I wanted to make it a smaller serving size because there's nothing more annoying than seeing a recipe made for like 12 servings. If you live alone, you can just double the recipe if you want to make more. It takes 5 minutes prep time and 15 to 20 minutes to cook. And I hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe so you don't miss out, and let's get right into it.
So for this recipe, you're gonna need some form of oat flour. You can also take gluten-free oats and blend those up. You're gonna need baking powder and vanilla and whatever kind of sweetener you like. Maybe that's maple syrup, maybe it's stevia, maybe it's sugar. Also an egg, whatever kind of dairy-free milk you like, and then an overly ripe banana. This will just make it easier when you're mashing it. And then you're also going to need a form of coffee. Maybe it's instant coffee. Maybe you have a cup of cold brew already made. That works. Maybe an espresso shot. If you're not using actual coffee, you're also going to need water and a baking spray or liner. It's also optional to add cocoa powder if you want a more chocolatey flavor. And then you can also drizzle some dark chocolate or add that as well. First thing I like to do while I'm prepping my muffins is to preheat my air fryer at about 400. You're only going to need 1 bowl for this recipe. I'm pouring in 1/3 cup of water because I'm using an instant coffee mix for this recipe. If you're using a cold brew, then substitute the water for the cold brew in this, and I'm pouring in 1/3 cup. Next, I'm pouring in 1/3 cup of almond milk. I want this recipe to be dairy free, so you can use almond, you can use coconut for this. To give it that coffee flavor, I'm adding in some instant cold brew Trader Joe's coffee mix. And I'm using 2 tablespoons worth, but I'm just kind of eyeballing it here and then mixing it together. If you're using cold brew, you don't need to do this step. And also if you want to make a different flavor like blueberry or pumpkin, skip this step as well. I really love that rich coffee flavor, so I'm adding in an espresso shot. This recipe is the perfect pick-me-up for breakfasts on the go. I wanted this recipe to be very adaptable for everybody, so like I said, you can just sub in the ingredients. If you don't like some of the ones I'm choosing to use, you can make it your own. Next, I'm mixing in some French vanilla extract. And obviously, after every step, mix it all together. While we're working with the wet ingredients, you're going to mash in your overly ripe banana. It will mash better and taste better if it's overly ripe, and I just have a medium-sized one here for this portion. And then you're just going to mash it until it's all mixed in. You want to make sure you mash it really thoroughly so there's not any large chunks of banana in your muffins. Next, you're going to mix in 1 large egg, and if you want, you can substitute this for 1/3 of egg whites. Next, I just add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Next, I add 2/3 cup of oat flour, and I start mixing in the dry ingredients. If you don't have gluten-free flour, that's totally fine. You can just take gluten-free oats and blend them up in the blender, and that works. This is the mixing step where you really want to make sure you get everything and that it's nice and smooth. The next step is adding some sweetener to the mix. So you could use maple syrup, you could use honey. I'm using 2 packets of stevia. The banana does give it some natural sweetener. I don't want to use any refined sugar, but the coffee and the espresso does make it a little bitter, so definitely recommend adding some extra sweetener in there. You could also add 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. Now I'm taking an avocado oil spray and just spraying the tin so none of it sticks. And I always take a paper towel and just go kind of on the inside of the liners just to really make sure. It's whatever you prefer. Butter would probably taste the best, or coconut oil. You could just use muffin liners. I just always use the same measuring cup from earlier to pour the batter into the tins. This easily could have made 6, but I prefer big muffins. The top is the best part. Something I forgot to do in this video is when you have an empty tin, you're supposed to fill it with water, so when you put it in the oven, everything will bake more evenly. And then now's your option before you throw it into the oven to add some extra toppings. Another tip is that when you put these in the air fryer, the back ones will cook faster, so make sure to flip them halfway, and I set my timer for 20 minutes. This was 5 and 10 minutes in. They were cooking really fast because of the high condensed heat. Each oven and air fryer is different, so it might take a little more or a little less time. Just make sure you're checking on them and then pull them out to cool before you take them out. So the inside of these are going to be very cake-like and the outside is very crispy. They are very light, but they're also really filling. Now is the time if you want to drizzle some honey or add some peanut butter, whatever kind of topping you want. But with the coffee flavor, it has so much flavor already, you really don't need a topping. The banana makes it so creamy.